They call themselves the superior race and believe that the US is no place for people of color. And Donald Trump's raucous candidacy and his ascension to the Oval Office in 2017 gave such white nationalist sentiments a boost.
Well, I think here in the United States, we have a very strong history of racism that goes back to the use of African Americans as slaves hundreds of years ago. And also with Donald Trump in the White House, people are feeling a permission to be able to speak publicly in ways that they did not before. And so it's almost like an encouragement of this racism and this division in our society that's going on.
Several months after Trump took charge of the White House, the country witnessed a neo-Nazi rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. The protest turned violent after it was met with an anti-racism demonstration. Back then, what made the headlines was not the rally itself, but rather President Trump's response to it, where he said both sides were equally to blame. Trump's comments drew sharp criticism, even from his fellow Republicans. 1 year after the deadly clashes in Charlottesville, white nationalists are staging another rally, but this time in Washington, D.C.
So that's what we're seeing this weekend, is trying to use these places and these positions to normalize this attitude of racism and white supremacy that is so really counter to the notion that this country was built on.
Officials in Charlottesville have already pledged a massive police presence to quell the possible violence. But even a peaceful rally would still reflect the grim realities of growing racism in the country. Today, hundreds of hate groups are active across America. In a tweet ahead of the rally, President Donald Trump condemned all types of racism and acts of violence. Trump also called for unity, while many blame him for growing racism in the US. In January 2018, Trump was quoted as referring to several nations as shithole countries, and his denial of using such a vile and racist comment did not shield him from a barrage of criticism. Meanwhile, former White House advisor and reality TV star Omaroso Manigault Newman accuses the U.S. president of being a racist in her forthcoming book. She claims Donald Trump uses the N-word, saying there is even tape to prove it.
So yes, absolutely, Donald Trump is a proponent of these ideas, and by his very words or his inactions, he becomes a supporter of them.
Manigault Newman, who was dismissed last December, also writes in her book that she was offered hush money from Trump's re-election campaign after being fired. But Trump's troubles don't stop there. He has recently been attacking those NFL players who kneel during the national anthem in protest at what they call racial injustice, one that's been plaguing the U.S. for centuries.